Hi, I'm Milenia, your host of the podcast Radiant Living. I want to welcome you to a space where you will find conversations of testimonials of growth, inspirational stories that have helped me, and other stories that will sprinkle laughter, spice, and tears. This is a space where you will find tools that can help you navigate your wellness journey. I hope you enjoy it. Hi, welcome back to Radiant Living. I'm so excited for this episode. I have a beautiful guest. Her name is Justine Samataro. Hello, Justine. Welcome to Radiant Living with Elenia. How are
Hello,
you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Good. Let me tell you something about Justine. She's a PR consultant. She's in PR management, and I think it would be better from you, like to hear it from you. What do you do? What's your specialty? What's your industry?
Thank you so much, first of all, for welcoming me. Thank you so much. I'm really happy and grateful to be here with you today. Yes, I am a big fan of public relations, and I have the chance to have found my passion in public relations management. Um, I live in Fribourg. I come from Neuchâtel, and I have also lived some years in Geneva. And public relations came quite soon in my life. I've always loved to speak with people, create relationships, building stories, storytelling. And I've started my career in 2014 in
Wow.
an event agency in Geneva. And then I've found my first dream job working for watchmaking industry for Bucherer in Geneva. It
Wow.
was my first step in public relations management.
Big
In
names in
big names,
the
yeah.
the luxury industry.
Yeah, it was always one of my dream to have an experience in the watchmaking industry. It was quite hard to enter in this really a bit hidden secret clothes industry, but it
Yes.
was an amazing experience in the boutique in Geneva to have to work with some amazing colleagues. And the Bucherer boutique in Geneva is really like historical building.
Yes, an iconic symbol of
Exactly, an
for
iconic
Geneva.
symbol. So it was an amazing experience. And then in 2020, I had an opportunity to take care the role of public relations management strategy for Clarins, the Swiss
Yes.
market. And I've been doing this for more than 4 years, and it was an amazing experience as well. I've loved every moment of this like career step, building like something with the Swiss press, influencers, in the cosmetic industry as well, family brands. So it was really really lovely. And
Wow.
then end of last year, so beginning of 2025, beginning of this year, I've taken the decision to be independent, so to be a PR consultant, to work on my own, to do this
To
big
take the
step.
journey of an
Exactly,
entrepreneur.
exactly, new life, and but always in the same field, like public relations management, obviously, and to keep really this relationship with the press, the Swiss journalists, influencers, and to try to accompany and to have like a conversation and consulting with clients in
Yes.
different industries. And for me, it was suddenly important to have a bit more freedom, to be a bit more free and to create a bit more. So I had a bit like these two pillars, which were really important to me. And this is the reason, one of the reasons why I've taken this decision to be on my own.
On your own. You decided to come on your independent journey, and we'll talk about it. Like, how was the big step? But first, I would like to know from the beginning, when you were growing up, who were your biggest influences or who did you look up to?
Yeah, this is an interesting question because I I was a big fan of Harry Potter, you know, like
Oh,
many children at this stage, at this age. And Emma Watson was
oh,
one of
wow.
my model, and like, yeah, I was fan of her because of her role from Harry Potter. But while growing up, I think she's also really amazing example of like women leadership, the values that she has. But to answer your question, I think when I was young, like this question would be more relevant maybe for me now, because this
Okay.
is maybe more a period lifetime when you want to build also your career, your life. And I have some I think there are so many amazing women examples that we have now
Yes.
building like role models. For example, Delia Fisher. I don't know if you know her. She has built West Wing, this
Yes.
amazing company, and she was working for Vogue, and she has built this amazing career. And from basically like nothing, like it was really it became something really huge. And I love her way of thinking. She's really smart, and she has also spoken about some challenges. So I would say this kind of women. But what is important for me as well in terms of, it's really also the values, you know,
Yes.
not to remember where you come from, what you want to bring, why are you doing this, is it like a bigger mission, or is it just to doing a job or fulfill something bigger in life. So this is these kind of things that inspire me in a day-to-day basics.
So basically, your values are to look up to women who bring really great things to the table.
Exactly. And also, you know, the women around me, like
Yes.
my family, my sister, my mom, my friends, my best friends. Also because we are women, and
Yes.
as women, I think we have this super deeper, bigger mission all together, that we need to be in like positive moods and to help ourselves to growth all together.
Speaking about that, this is an important like question for me to ask you. Do you feel like women don't have the relevance or don't sometimes in some industries or some workplaces they don't, not that they don't are necessarily shown as important, but has it been difficult to stand up or to stand out as a woman? Because nowadays women, thank God,
Yeah.
are stepping up. We're stepping up and we're just standing out.
Yeah.
What is your vision on that matter?
I think I'm I've always been quite lucky because public relations management marketing is more like a women industry.
Okay.
So it's not like if I were working as a banker, or you know, like they are really men's industry. And I think it's really still a challenge for women working there. And I don't want to speak for them, but I mean, I think we still have many challenges to do. But of course, obviously, it's going in a right and positive direction. But I think for me on my side, I didn't have like really big challenges being a woman, or I had always good relations with women, like colleagues,
Great.
also men that I have as bosses, for example. So I think it's also really really important to mention the role as men in this industry, and the role that they have, also the responsibilities that they have, also like working with women and helping together. It's not just as women, like we need to work all together, and the men need also to understand this. And I think it's beginning to shift the mentalities also with the new generation and everything.
Yes.
But like personally, I'm quite lucky, and I have always felt supported by men as bosses, or like colleagues, women. So yeah, but I think it's complicated to be a woman, and to have a career, to be a mom, to, and I cannot really speak about this because I don't have any children for the moment. But we feel like this pressure that we have, not in, but like pressure in terms of general, like the responsibilities and the
Yes.
mental charge that we have every day. And we can feel these kind of things. And when this is also the reason why it's more and more important, and like that we are stronger together as women, because we understand what when we talk about things, and we need to be there and to support each other.
Exactly. I'm just happy to show your testimonial or your story of success of being a woman. You can be anything you want. You can be safe in any environment and also work together
Yeah.
in a diverse world. I mean, it's men and women
Yeah.
working all together, collaborating.
Yeah,
We're
no,
equally capable
exactly. Yeah,
of doing things, of taking opportunities and develop projects, do big things.
yeah,
And I think that's the ideal world we would
totally.
like to go
And
for.
also to say that we are so lucky, obviously, in
Yes.
Switzerland, in Europe, in there are many other countries, or like places when we like still are not the same as we are, and we have now this chance to have equal chances with like women and men, even if
Yes.
it's not yet perfect. But I mean, we still have many other things to develop in
Yes.
other countries in the world. But yeah.
And from here, what was a big turning point in your life that you decided to just like, okay, I'll be independent, I'll go in my journey. Did you have like thoughts or second thoughts about doing it, or you were always like driven to go there?
No, it's really interesting because it was never the plan to be independent, to be working, to be, yeah, to work on my own. It was never like a dream, a big plan that I had. My dream was always to be really passionate by my work, because I knew quite young that work would be and is a big part in our society. But the step into this independent new life was quite recent, because I've began the year last year, 2024, and I was really happy with my work position by Clarins. My colleagues were amazing, loved my position, like everything was perfect, because I just got promoted. And yeah, it was like it was an amazing year, 2024. It's going to be the celebration of 70 years Clarin's birthday. So we had
Yes.
amazing events planned for this year. And I knew that I wanted to fulfill this year at the maximum by Clarins. I was really happy. It was like the vision that I have. But suddenly I felt in my gut, in my belly, it was like an instinct, intuition that I had, that I would not be happy to do this and to continue this position and this life and my work by Clarins during the year 2025. It was
Okay.
like suddenly I'm so happy to do this
It was
until
time.
it was time. I'm so happy to continue this until the end of 2024. But then, beginning this new year, 2025, in 1 year, because it was last year,
Yes.
it would have been, I don't know, it felt not okay anymore. You know,
Yes.
it's this kind of intuition and feelings that you
I'm
have.
all about intuition.
Me
Is
too.
that like that little ticking thing that is on your
Exactly.
neck that you cannot
You feel,
ignore? You
exactly.
feel it and you have to go with your gut.
But sometimes it's also difficult to understand what it is. Like, is it
Yes.
Intuition? Am I crazy? Is it like,
It's
I
not
don't
clear
know? It's
completely.
not clear. Like, it's really
Yes.
like some little things that you have. And either you decide to try to understand what is this inner voice, or you decide to close your eyes and say, no, no, it's nothing, just continue. And I go with my title and I go with my life. And so it was quite weird and quite bizarre, because I was like, what is this? What's going on? Because I thought I would be continuing my life by Clarins, I don't know, 5 years, and like maybe have a position internationally, and maybe
Yeah.
to continue this journey,
Build a career like over
build
there,
a,
like a
yeah.
long time
But it was
in the long
also,
run.
exactly, but it was also, I didn't want to have another position. It was to stay in this public relation position, but maybe to experience another market, or I don't know. And then I have this inner voice saying, like, a bit, it was like, it felt weird, but a bit like, you are waited, or you are waiting somewhere else. Like, something is waiting for you somewhere else. Just like a bit like this. I felt something.
Like,
Yeah, a bit of like a sensation. And
okay.
because I was happy, but I felt that it was not 100% fulfilled happy. You see what I
Okay.
mean?
Yes,
And
yes.
I know it would not be possible every time, every year, every day of the life, of course, but majority as I can, like the maximum possible. I want to live in this fulfilled life 100%, to be like max and to be fulfilled, to be happy, to be passionate about what I do. And I think last year I realized that it was kind of the end of something,
Okay.
but not in a bad way. Just like I felt it was not fulfilling me enough as I want to be fulfilled in life.
Yeah, the end of a cycle that we
The
go
end
through
of a
life.
cycle, exactly. And yeah, I started to think about what could be it, because it's also scary. You're like, but
Yes.
what does that mean? And then I had also some conversations with some people that I found inspiring, and we take a bit time to discuss, and it became a bit like clearer that I would like to have more freedom
Mm-hmm.
also in my life, meaning in term also rhythm during a day. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to be able to
Your daily schedule, your
exactly to
daily
say, okay, if I
life,
want to have a
whatever.
Pilates session at 10 a.m., I can do
You
it.
can.
Or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So to have a bit this kind of thing, but also in terms of loyalty directed by a company, meaning that when you work for, of course, a company, a brand, you cannot suddenly speak about another cosmetic brand, or you cannot do everything you want. You see what I
Yes.
mean? So it was a bit this idea to be out of one big name, to be
Yes.
able to open the possibilities, open the scopes, and to be a bit more free. And in parallel, I had also this creative
I wanted to ask
minds.
you, that was my following
Yeah.
question. From that place, now that you jumped to the other side, you came with a beautiful creation. One
Thank
of
you.
them that is Visit My Place. Tell us about Visit My Place.
Yeah, thank you so much for your words and for your support. So yeah, it was quite funny, this story, because when I was working for Clarins, suddenly came more clear with time that I wanted to create some different things, like in Instagram, content creation, really in my humble niveau, but just to create videos, to share some little things, photos, and it brings me happiness more and more to do this kind of creative projects parallel. And then, so I was doing this on my personal Instagram account, and I was taking pleasure, and I was, with this creative process. And one day, we were invited with my boyfriend to a dinner at an apartment in Switzerland by someone. And I realized that I didn't have any expectations of this apartment decoration. I was like, no expectation at all. I was like, yeah. And when we arrive at this dinner
The place.
invitation at this place, the guy like opened the door, and I realized that I was really surprised, because it was like with orange walls. It was a bit this Marrakesh style. You had like this table, wooden table without any chairs. It was really like special. It was something. It was an amazing place. It was not forcément like luxurious. It was just like something happened for me at this. I was like, but this is so cool. Like, I love this place. And we had like, I was congratulate the guy. I was like, but this is so cool. Your place, congratulations. I love the decoration. I love the fact that it's really personal as well, colorful, and felt special. And
Yes.
when we came back home, I was brushing my teeth, and like this image of like the ampoule suddenly light up,
Like the light
the
bulb.
light bulb. I was
Yeah,
like,
just
ding,
flashes.
because I was brushing my teeth, and I was like, but this place is so cool, and this is so a pity that at the end of the day, no one will never discover this place, because this is a personal apartment, and like
Yeah.
at least like the family, the friends, like, but I mean, like, it's gonna be like this, and nothing will ever talk about it. And I was thinking, I wish I could have taken more pictures. I wish I could share this place. I don't know what could I do. It was a bit like all these thoughts, and suddenly it arrived. I was like, oh my god, but I need to share these places. It was like a mission suddenly appeared to me. But like the people world needs to see these kind of
Yes.
places. And I think it was the beginning of Visit My Place, but it was quite clear the way I wanted to do it, to showcase what kind of person, what he's doing in life, what is his
Okay.
position, what's the
Yes, for the
profession,
audience, like
for the audience
who
to
know,
know
yes, to see
exactly,
it.
to see and to have this link with like the human side and like the place, and then also some photos. So Visit My Place is a platform, like really like a hobby that I have created on my humble way, to just showcase places that I found inspiring. And it's this link with like the human touch, the place, and the personal side, because it's really personal to
Right.
open your doors to a
Very
platform.
intimate. It's
Very
very
intimate,
personal. Yes.
personal. But and it began like this, like really with some friends, people that I know, that when I've entered their homes or places, I was inspired, and people that I think they need to be a bit more visible in
Yes.
this world. And this is also something interesting, because it already exists, this kind of AD, digest, like Vogue, and it's not something new, but it's just like I think I had this mission to find this middle thing. You see what I mean? Because these
Yes.
kind of apartments, they will never for the moment be showcased in Vogue, because this is this middle,
Yeah, they're
they are
pretty,
not,
but they're
yeah,
not.
it's not
Yes.
celebrities
It's
like
not
they
celebrities.
but
Yes.
so I wanted to just showcase this kind of places. And also I think I'm really, and I was, and I'm still are in this, still am in this period of my life where I need to be nourished by creativity. Like
Yes.
I want to be inspired. I want to be inspired. And this is also the reason why I'm supporting friends, women, like people to go chase their dreams, to go about the project, to go for it, because we need to fulfill our missions. And
Yes.
whatever the mission is, like it's so important to have this, to go for it, because I think we all have these dreams
In our minds, in
in
our
our
heads.
minds,
Yes.
exactly, and they didn't arrive for nothing, right? This is
Yes.
also a bit of a spirituality
I love
talk,
this. I was
because
talking to Ana Maria the other time
yeah,
she came, and yes, we have all these dreams and voices that are telling us like what we like, what we would love
yeah,
to go for, our
exactly,
passion,
exactly,
but we sometimes we just
yeah,
don't listen
low
to
the
that. Yeah, low the
exactly, low
voice.
the voice. And this is so interesting, because I am also really into spirituality, and I think it's like deep subjects connected, creativity, spirituality, like human thing, and everything is linked at the end of the day.
Yes.
Universe, the wishes that you have, like manifestation, power of manifestation, visualization. And for me, it really some subject that changed my life in 2016. And it changed my life because suddenly you realize that you are not like a victim, but you are the powerful creator of your life. And of course it's going to be challenging, and of course it's not easy every day, and of course we all have different things to go through in life, but it's important to take action and to try to fulfill these missions and dreams. And when you said something really important, saying like we all have things that we like, that we don't like, and passions and dreams. And why am I loving this? Like it's
Yes.
not you, if you dream about something, if you want to achieve something, there is a reason behind. You see what I
Yes,
mean?
yes,
It's
they're there for the reason for you to go and chase them.
exactly, exactly.
They're not gonna be just standing still.
Yeah.
And what could you say to our audience? Like, what is your personal advice now that you're a consultant? You know, you have the experience with working with brands, with working with people. What would you advise to our audience to fulfill their passions, their dreams? their careers
Yeah.
or their dreams in personal life?
I would say that we all are different and unique. So you have a place in this world, and you have a mission to fulfill, and this is the dream that you have, and your plans, your goals in life. It's your mission, and if you don't chase them, it can also be offending, like, meaning, like, you see what I mean? It's also so interesting to shift the thing, like, you are here to fulfill a mission, and this is cool, like, it's accept it if you want, of course, and
Yes.
embrace it, and don't be afraid. And it's going to be, sometimes it's not always going to be easy, but also it's also okay to say sometimes it's going to be easy, because it's also possible that
Yes.
things go this way. And it's also important to talk about the fact that when we listen to our intuition and our gut, this is also the way that guides our soul.
And also, when hard things come your way, when there are obstacles or challenges, how do you prioritize your mental health? Do you have any ritual, or do you go, you said you like Pilates, like what do you do for yourself?
It's an interesting question, because to answer this question, I feel a bit like an imposteur, because this is not something that I'm really successful about for the moment, meaning that for me it's really the beginning of a new life. So it's been like 5-6 months that I've started this new life as independent and consultant, and I've never thought it would be so complicated to face through a new rhythm of life, meaning that I'm really happy, I'm grateful to have stepped in it. Like, this is not the point, but the rhythm of life is quite challenging. And it's quite challenging to put me as a priority, because I was never really good at it, and I'm really an active person, so I like to be to do different things, to be really active. So I'm not really good at putting myself in priority and to do these kind of things. So this is something that I'm learning every day, and I want to be better at it. I want to prioritize myself, because I'm also learning that this is really, really important. This is the most important thing at the end of the day, because I am also my company, my person. So if I'm not recharged, I cannot give back to people. So I think it is really key to find this kind of things or moments in life when we can recharge ourselves. And I love reading, I love walking, taking also coffees with my friends, family, spending time also with my boyfriend to have conversations with him, just having like time to see great movies or series, these kind of things. Also doing some sports. So I try to go to my fitness studio once in a week. It's not a lot, but I mean, it's at least I
But
try
it's your
to have,
time.
yeah, it's my time. So I try to have these kind of periods, but I want to be better at it, and I'm still working on it, because I know this is really important.
It is important. I mean, this podcast, Rate and Living, is about that, about
Yeah.
getting to know yourself, what makes you feel good about it. If you're struggling, if you're facing some obstacles in your life, what is the main thing that will help me to overcome these obstacles?
Yeah.
Maybe having a support system with your friends, or rely on even professional help,
Yeah.
like we've discussed before. Whatever your routine is, if it works for you, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're not mindful enough to, you said like, oh, I leave myself for,
Yeah.
for last.
Yeah.
But no, we need to focus on ourselves,
Yeah.
to help others, to help
Exactly.
others bloom.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. Justine, do you believe in fate, hard work, or a mix of both?
It's a really interesting question, and I love these topics. I would say it's a mix of both, because you first need to believe in yourself, to have your vision, to know what you want, fulfill your dreams. And so I think it's going to have a part of fate, because this is also a destiny and we have different missions here, right? So I think there is a strong part of the fate one, but also this is the like, you need also to accept it and to embrace, and you need to work on it. Like you need to take actions. So taking actions, meaning like work, and sometimes to be disappointed. So it's also hard work, right?
Yes.
So this is the reason why I would say it's a mix of both.
It's a mix of both. I believe the same thing.
Yeah.
I think there are circumstances that will help you
Yeah,
to
right.
follow that line, and other things that will block you. But when you work hard enough, is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah, right.
So a mix of both. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So what's next for Justine? You have so many things. You have a busy year coming.
Yes.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
What are
I
the
feel,
plans?
yeah, I'm really grateful.
We have
because-
Visit My Place.
Yes.
We have to check. You have to check that on Instagram.
thank
We'll
you.
put that link
The
to
link.
to your Visit My Place.
And
Do you want to share with us
yeah,
something else?
what's new is we have just launched Visit My Hotel.
Wow!
Yeah, so
Yay, bravo.
it's new. It's also another like idea, concept, challenge also that we wanted to take the chance to go for it. And because when I say we, I mean also with my boyfriend, Miguel, we are also really passionate about travel, hotels, all this kind of tourism that we love, also to discover new places, new cities, new countries. And it was suddenly also something happened. It was like, but we also could do it for the hotels, because I think it's another way of showcasing properties, hotels that you found on the internet or Instagram,
Yes.
on TikTok. It's also a different thing, because you have a global view of the hotel, of the venue. And so it's also really interesting to start with a new creative process, and I hope it's going to work and to interest people.
Yes.
So we will try also to develop this project together.
Visit My Hotel. I'm so looking forward to hear from that.
Thank you.
Here in Europe or in Geneva, people travel a lot,
Yeah.
and they sometimes they're interested in, where do I go next?
Yeah.
What's my next destination? Where should I stay?
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, what is your favorite country? What is your favorite city, or maybe in the world that you've been to?
Yeah, it's I am a big fan of UK,
Okay.
London, and all like England in
England.
general. I'm really in love with this city, and it's really, yeah, it's funny because you feel when you go somewhere and you feel recharged immediately. You feel inspired, you feel connected, you feel yourself, and I feel this with UK and London and every countryside of UK. I love everywhere there. I love the country, love the vibe, love the people, the mindset. I don't know, sometimes you cannot explain. It's just like
You like the
so
vibe. You
I
like
love the vibe. I love
everything.
UK. Yeah.
Good. And okay, tell me your favorite food. What do you like the most? If you could eat that food for the rest of your life, what
Yeah.
would it be?
It would be, it's not really fancy. It's like a fresh green salad and French fries.
Oh,
Best combo. Best combo.
best combo. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing.
Nothing fancy. Yeah, it's a bit weird, but yeah.
But
love
French
it.
fries are the best,
French
especially
fries is
in
like-
Switzerland.
Yeah.
They're very good. They
Yeah,
have the
right.
right amount of salt.
Yes.
They're crispy but soft on the
Yeah.
inside.
And you, what would it be?
What would it be? I'm Mexican, so tacos.
Yeah.
I could
Oh,
eat
yeah,
tacos
right.
every day.
So
So
good.
either with vegetables or with meat or
Yeah, it's so good.
but tacos.
Yeah, but you know,
Even though I love, like, I'm a really foodie person, I love everything. I have a taste for special things, but that would be my
Perfect.
way to go.
Yeah. I need to go to Mexico, by the way. It's in my bucket list.
It's on your bucket
Of
list.
course, yeah, for so many years. But sometimes there is different things, different places when you want to
Yes.
go as well. But Mexico, yeah, definitely.
Mexico, you should go. It's so rich in culture. It's so
Yeah.
diverse. It has the all kinds of
History,
weathers,
yeah, so cool.
history. It's so cool. So coming from a Swiss life, you grew up in Switzerland.
Yeah.
You've been here, but you travel a lot. I've experienced that a lot of Swiss people. We have a Swiss person right here in the production, in the crew. I love their passion to discover other worlds. Do you find that interesting?
Yeah, sure. I've always been in love with Geneva. This is something I was telling my parents when I was young, and like the first steps of my career, I've always wanted to move to like a big city, and it was always either Geneva or Zurich, and destiny went through Geneva. But I love the fact that you have this international touch, international people, Swiss people, of course, as well, but all these kind of different areas. And, I've mentioned before that I love to be inspired.
Yes.
And for me, it tends to be that I'm more inspired by international people because maybe this is something special, something different. Also, the fact that I love traveling so much. So for me, it's I always love when there are like international people, not from Switzerland. I love Swiss people, of course, as well. But you see what I mean? Because
Yes.
it's and also to listen to the stories of people, what they've gone through, why they're here, and sometimes you have like amazing stories to listen. This is
Yes.
so interesting.
That's why you're here. You have an interesting. This is the whole point of showcasing your story.
Oh,
You know,
thank
your
you.
background and what you're capable of doing, and we'll see what the future holds. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for you.
Thank you
And
so much.
one last question: fondue or raclette?
Oh my God, complicated.
Complicated, really. You have to think about
We have to
it.
think. I would say fondue.
Fondue.
Yeah, because it's more like I think like raclette. You have to. I don't know. It's you're always a bit frustrated, and fondue is more like a whole. It's more cocooning. It's more like an experience. It's more special. So I would say fondue.
Fondue. Moitié-moitié or du?
Moitié. And in Fribourg, they're really
Yes.
good for the fondue.
If you're in the area, just
Yeah,
go there.
go to Fribourg for the fondue.
Justine, how can we reach out to you? For example, if somebody would like to build their personal brand or is interested, like, can they contact you?
Of
Can
course,
they
yeah. You will,
reach out to you?
yeah, no
Can we'll
problem.
put on the
The contact details,
yes.
and would be more than happy to connect and to exchange. It's always a great experience to discuss with people and discuss about projects and everything. So I'm here.
Oh, that's great. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your time.
Thank
Thank you
you.
really for believing in my project. Also, I'm a witness of this. I was
Yeah.
very scared for a long time to launch my podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe I should shut down like all my thoughts and just like ignore my dreams. But then it was stronger
It
than
was
me.
stronger.
I couldn't
Yay.
help it.
Go for
Yes.
it. I'm so happy and I'm
So
so proud of you, and congrats for this. This is
thank you.
amazing.
But thank you for coming and being part of
Of
this.
course.
Thank you, Justine. And with good luck with everything that's coming your way.
Thank you so much.
It's gonna be amazing. So visit my place, visit my hotel with Justine Samataro. Thank you so much for this, and I'll see you next time.